This video is made with the intention of being a no damage tutorial of the game. Feel free to use any of these strategies using this video, but listen carefully before you can perform them successfully. Hello everybody, this is a no save no damage runoff.
Resident Evil.
Getting the worst ending with Chris Redfield on hard difficulty at 60 FPS. So the worst ending is better known as the ending 6, because in the game the game gives like the endings between 1 to 6. So the 6 is the worst ending, and it's the worst ending because it's the ending where you leave the mansion alone. So you don't have to save Rebecca, neither Jill. So Chris's run are very different than Jill, at least at the beginning of the game. There's a lot of backtracking on Chris's run, and it's most of the time because you have 2 less item slots, and you do have the grenade launcher, of course. So the main goal at the beginning of the game with Chris is go and get the shotgun as fast as you can. But before starting, so there are 3 main things you need to learn in order to make efficient runs on this game, and the first one is called stair skating, and it goes like this. Basically, the stair skating consists in smashing the run button while you're going up or going down the stairs. The second most important thing is to learn how to pump cancel. But for this zombie, just stand up behind the statue, and when the zombie tries to grab you, go around him and leave the room. Sometimes the zombie will be very docile, and he won't try to grab you. So the main goal on that part is wait until the zombie is behind the statue, and you have enough space to go around him, and that's it. So the main goal is to have enough space on the hallway, you know, so you can go around the zombie and you are not in trouble to get grabbed. So with Chris, you cannot have the luxury to kill both zombies. You just have to kill the first one, and the second one you just have to stun him. And when he falls down, you go pick up the shotgun, and then wait until the zombie starts to standing up if the zombie is on your way. But the zombie wasn't on my way, so it was really safe to just go around him. And the reason I reset the room is because Resident Evil 1 Remake works exactly as the same as Resident Evil 1 Classic. When you reset the room, you reset the aggro of the enemies, you reset the position of the enemies, but you can also reset the HP values of the enemies, so you have to be careful with that. And the main reason you cannot have the luxury to kill the second zombie is because with Chris, those handgun bullets are necessary to kill 2 more zombies on the game before you pick up the shotgun. And most of the time you won't get lucky, and maybe these zombies will take you so much ammo, and maybe the other 2. You will have to use the knife in order to kill the last zombie. But it's pretty consistent, to be honest, kill zombies with the knife, because the Chris deals a lot of damage with the knife, believe it or not. So in order to not aggro that zombie, you just have to stick close to the right when you are entering into the crypt, and the fat zombie will never aggro to you. We have to come here because here we can pick up the first defense item, but it's really important that you don't keep walking on the hallway, otherwise there will be dogs the second time you come here, so you just pick up the dagger and then get out. So in Resident Evil 1 Remake, you have defense items, and you can use the defense items when an enemy grabs you. So for example, if a zombie grabs you in front of you, you can use a defense item, and grab won't count as damage. I'm pretty sure every enemy has a grab animation, even the dogs. But anyway, on this hallway you equip the handgun and start killing this zombie. So believe it or not, the handgun has a crit chance on this game, so sometimes you will decapitate the enemies with the handgun, but it's pretty rare. But sometimes you will have enough luck. But what I suggest in this part is that if you are not able to decapitate this zombie, you bring the canteen with kerosene the second time you come to this place. Because this hard difficulty won't fuck up your inventory, because you will be able to save the canteen on any item box and then retrieve it on any other, you know. So right here the cutscene ends, and then you go around the table and you have to stick close to the wall, otherwise the zombie on the floor can grab you. And you have to do it as soon as the cutscene ends, as soon as you regain control of Chris, because if you waste a little more time, the zombie on the floor will be like far left, and maybe he will grab your feet when you are going around him. So try to not waste time there. Right here you have to go to the second floor, and then you have to open the door, because when you open this door you will be able to discard this key. And with Chris it's very important to discard keys, because you'll have enough item slots, you know, so it's the best thing you can do. That's the reason I just use the key on that door. So right there's a crit chance of the handgun. I just one-shot that zombie. That's pretty rare that it can happen, but it can happen. Another important thing is that the zombies will always vomit when they are on the stairs. That's why they like do not raise their hands, and that means they won't grab you. The zombies will always vomit on the stairs, do not worry about them grabbing you. There's a really rare RNG that can happen in that place, that the zombie maybe won't be on the stairs. And if he's not on the stairs, he will be like below the stairs. And you have to be careful when you are changing camera, because he can grab you immediately. Right here, because I have enough bullets, I can like just try to stun that zombie and then run around him. You can use a defense item as well. You can just lure him to the pillar and go going around the pillar, and the zombie won't grab you. So when you pick up the broken shotgun, and that's the main reason we pick up the small key in the kitchen, when you pick up the broken shotgun, the zombie in this section will change his position, but it will give you free way to start pushing the statue, and then you can retrieve the blue gem, and with the blue gem you will have 6 shotgun shells. The shotgun shells are very important with Chris, because you have the grenade launcher again, so the best weapons you will have with Chris will be the handgun at the beginning of the game, and then the shotgun and the magnum. But there's not a lot of magnum ammo, so the best weapon will be the shotgun with Chris. So maybe you noticed, but Chris doesn't have the lockpick, so the doors that you'll open with the lockpick, you have to open it with the small keys with Chris. So that's the main reason I'm always picking up small keys. And then that's the main reason I enter to the bathroom and pick up the small key on that zombie. So the zombies on this game work exactly as the classic as well. So when the zombie is standing up or the zombie is falling down, he cannot grab you. The zombie needs to end that animation, and then he can grab you. He cannot grab you in the middle of those animations, so that's the exact time you have to take to your advantage to avoid those zombies. So this is a thing I learned about Carsey. I thought that you will always decapitate the zombie, but it's mainly because the first shotgun shell on the game will always decapitate an enemy. So because this is the first shotgun shell I'm using in the game, that's why you will always decapitate that zombie. On this game, unfortunately, the shotgun won't always decapitate zombies. There's a chance or a percentage that you can decapitate enemies. For example, for this zombie, I just recommend you to shoot him on the legs and don't try to kill him like I did. The dodge on this hallway is very, very precise, and you have to do it as soon as you enter to the hallway, otherwise the zombie will grab you. With Chris it's a little simpler to perform it because Chris is faster than Jill. With Jill it's a little harder. And then the get out, it's like more simple as long as you stick close to the wall. That zombie can be on the right or on the left, that's why I entered to the camera change walking. So as I was telling you, the shotgun has a chance to decapitate enemies or zombies. And there are zombies that has more chance that you will decapitate them, but it's like not a 100% consistent. But there are some few things you can do in order to increase that chance of decapitating enemies. The first thing you can do is using a dagger on a zombie and then aim up and try to decapitate them. The second thing you can do is, one thing I learned, it's you have to wait until the zombie makes the grab animation when he's very close to you and then aim up and shoot. Right there I just fucked up, I completely forget I have to go to the doors section and then I have to go to that part. So that was just waste of time, don't do that, you just have to go directly here. So right here you keep the shotgun, then use the dog whistle and you stand up right here and aim directly, do not aim down. When the dog appears, aim and shoot, then pump cancel and shoot him again. That's a pump cancel. So the pump cancel is basically a cancellation of the recoil of the weapon. So you can shoot immediately the weapon, or almost immediately, because you're canceling the recoil of the weapon. It only works with the shotgun and with the grenade launcher. Of course with the rocket launcher as well, but the rocket launcher is an infinite weapon, so it doesn't matter. It's pretty hard to explain just by saying it, how to perform it. So I will leave in the description a tutorial on how to pump cancel this game. And that tutorial will be able to see the inputs I make. And with that it will be like more simple to understand how to do it. But it's pretty important for you to learn how to pump cancel this game. It's not really complicated to learn it, to be honest. It's more complicated to learn how to quickshot. You don't have to confuse the quickshot with the pump cancel because they are different strats or different tricks. And the way you perform them are very different as well. The quickshot, it's like crazy hard to perform it. And to be honest, for another match run, the quickshot is not necessary because the quickshot works with the handgun and you won't use the handgun so much on this challenge, or at least with the strats I will use. So right here, because I'm not incinerating that zombie, and this is because this is my first round with Chris and I didn't have enough experience. It's possible to avoid that crimson head as long as you go from door to door on that hallway. But I'm pretty sure on this run he will become a crimson head before I leave the first mansion, or the mansion 1. And I think I will just use a hand grenade on his mouth and then I will shoot him and he will die, if I remember correctly. So right here, the only reason I entered this part is because there's one dagger. Otherwise it's not necessary to enter this room, but it's necessary to use the key on that door, because like that you will be able to discard that key later in the game. So as you can see, it's a lot of backtracking. With Chris is more backtracking than with Jill, and it's only because you need the small keys and you have to be more careful and you have to pick up more stuff and you have to like manage your inventory more precisely. But to be honest, I enjoy making Chris's runs more than Jill's runs. Right here, just pick up the or save the shotgun shells and then pick up the serum. The reason I save the shotgun shells is because those 6 shotgun shells will be for the Elder Crimson Head fight. Right here, just let the zombie grab you, or you can shoot him on the legs, or you can lure him to the pillar and then go around the pillar and you will just avoid the zombie. That's up to you. It's like a lot of things you can do with the zombies in this game. It's not like only one global strat you can use with all of them. Maybe for a few, but I think like most of the zombies has like a lot of strats you can perform. not just one. Oh yeah, and of course the reason I'm playing on simple Chinese is because the simple Chinese is the fastest text on this game. So there's one interesting thing I think I never mentioned on my other Resident Evil 1 remake videos. On this game you have to tap in order to scroll the text fast, but on the classic you have to hold the confirm button in order to scroll the text fast. It's a little difference and it's pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure speedrunners will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, right here you pick up the 6 shotgun shells, and these 6 shotgun shells will be pretty useful in the game right now, because thankfully with Chris we have to go to the each tasty room, because there's one small key here. So you open the closet, there's one zombie, you keep the shotgun and shoot him on the leg, but I think I will just shoot him directly, yeah. It's better if you shoot him in the leg. And then onto the other one as well, just shoot him in the leg. Right there I just noticed that I have enough space between the zombie and the room, so I just can go behind him. And for that zombie on this hallway, it's always the same, the dodge, and we will use it like 2 more times in the game. That zombie will always be far right, and as long as you go far left, you will dodge him. It's not impossible for a zombie to grab you with a 180-degree grab, but as long as there's enough space between you and the zombie when you are like going behind him, he won't grab you. And as long as you go running, right? Because if you like go walking, he will obviously grab you. So right here, do not go to the second floor, because on the second floor there is one zombie. And this is the strat I was talking to you about. You just lure the zombie to the pillar and then go around the pillar. And it's free. You don't have to use ammo, and you don't have to use a defense item. You just have to use more time. But yeah, I definitely recommend you to incinerate the zombie on the floor in that hallway. Do not let him become a Crimson Head, because he will be an issue. But I'm pretty sure I started doing that once I got hit with that Crimson Head one time. And then I just decided, I think I can just bring the canteen at the beginning of the game to this part if I'm not able to decapitate this zombie. And yeah, it's pretty possible, even on real Survivor. And as you can see, as long as you go far right when you are entering to the crypt, the zombie will never aggro. That zombie will disappear after you pick up the last mask on the game. So that's the last time you have to worry about him. Oh, this is the last time you have to worry about him. Once you save Richard, there's one zombie in this room. As long as you go around the pillar, he will never grab you. I recommend you to kill this zombie. You can shoot him in the leg if you want. And this is incredible, man. He tanks 2 shotgun shells. That's almost never happened, but he's dead with the dagger. You can shoot him in the leg, but if you shoot him in the leg, you will just disable him, and he will enter when you light up these candles. Because there's auto aim on this difficulty, you can just enter and run into this part and then aim and shoot 2 times. Sometimes you will just decapitate him with 1 shot, but it's important for you to save 1 shotgun shell, because there's just 1 more zombie you have to take care about. But oh yeah, I think on this the Crimson will be on the hallway on the first floor, but let's see. So right here, do not pick up the wooden emblem. You have to pick it up after, because if you pick it up right now, you won't have enough space. This section is the same as with on the classic. You just have to use the musical notes on the piano, and then Rebecca will come and she will help you. So you just have to choose yes. Then you leave the room. And right here, I just noticed that the Crimson Head was alive. Oh no! That's interesting. I think he will be alive after I make. So anyway, you pick up right now the wooden shield, and in order to speed up the time, maybe you can say it, you just have to go to the hall, to the main hall, and then re-enter to this room, and then go back to Rebecca, and Rebecca will be able to play the piano just by doing that.
Chris,
Just by going to the main hall and then re-enter, right? That's the main goal. So I'm pretty sure right now he'll be a Crimson Head. Or maybe he won't. That's interesting. Maybe it's on another run and I'm just confused. But anyway, if that zombie will be a Crimson Head on Mansion 2, so after you defeat the Plant 42, you have to go back to the mansion. He will definitely be a Crimson Head. But as I told you, as long as you go from door to door on that hallway, he won't be able to hit you. Because Crimson Heads won't always grab you. They can grab, of course, but most of the time they will slash you. So if you are planning to play Real Survivor, I definitely recommend you to play in this difficulty first, not on normal difficulty. Because the only things that are different on Real Survivor and hard difficulty are the auto aim and the item boxes linked. So with Yawn, you just have to move your left stick up, you pick up the mask and then move your left stick to the left, and you will always avoid Yawn like that. To be honest, it's more simple to avoid Yawn with Chris than with Jill, believe it or not. And right now we can just continue the game. Right here you can just let this zombie grab you, or you can go far left like I did if the zombie is far right and he will never grab you. Or you can use a shotgun shell and shoot him in the leg and then run past through him when he is falling down. By the way, if you just let the poison flow in the air on this room, it will count as damage immediately. It's not like on the classic, they will give you like enough time to leave the room and reset it. On this game, it's like immediately the poison will inflict you damage. Right now, you have to remember that there's one zombie right here. No, it's dead, yeah, because I used 2 shotgun shells, I think, or just one on a dagger. Yeah, I'm so used to the other strats I'm using on right now with Chris that are more efficient, to be honest. And you use less shotgun shells and less defense items. Because there's a discussion in this game that maybe you can do it hitless, and by doing it hitless it will... I mean, you don't have to use defense items. Also, this room is way easier than with Jill, because Chris will throw the wasp to the floor. So that will give you like 1 more second, 2 more seconds in this room to pick up the crest and then leave. Of course you cannot stay in the room and just fuck around, or the wasp will sting you. But you have more time than with Jill. With Jill is like the time is more precise, or the timing. it's important for you to pick up that small key, because that small key will give you access to the what is it, to the small door outside the art room. Right here, just reload the shotgun and then leap. You just need to do that. Because with Chris you have to fight the Crimson Head with the shotgun, you have to learn the pump cancel as well. And the Crimson Head boss fight, it's the only boss fight with Chris that you will be able to perform the pump cancel. But because on the other boss fights, Chris will raise the shotgun on his shoulder, maybe on his chest, and when the character does that animation, you are not able to perform the pump cancel. Chris is the only character that does that animation, by the way. Jill never does that, but you will see that on Yawn fight and on the Tyrant fight as well. And as you can see, the zombie's gone. So there are a few things you have to take into account about the Crimson Heads. The first and most important is that the Crimson Head will not always get stunned by a shotgun shell. The second one is that the shotgun deals more damage as long as you are close to the enemy, so try to not shoot the shotgun when you are far away from the enemy. The third thing is that you can shoot the Crimson Head on the legs and you will be able to make them fall down. And I think the fourth and most important is that you have to learn when the Crimson Head make a slash and take advantage of that time. But let's see how I do this fight. I think I will just equip the shotgun, aim, yeah. So that's a stun. I have plenty of lucky, because I was able to stun him with almost 3 or 4 shotgun shells. But to be honest, I don't really recommend you to do that. Do not shoot the shotgun when you are far away from the Crimson Head, because there will be times that you will be out of shotgun shells because he won't take enough damage because you are far away from him. The best strat with Chris on hard difficulty with Crimson Head is to stick or get close to him, aim down and shoot him on the legs. He will fall down, then you shoot him again on the floor, and then you just start luring him slashes. And when he slash, you take some space, you aim and shoot. Because when the Crimson Head slash, he will like stun him a little after the slash. So that's enough time for you to aim and shoot. But do not aim and shoot when you are close to him after the slash, because it's possible for him to perform immediately a second slash or a grab. There's a strategy you can like force the Crimson Head to grab you and just use one hand grenade and then aim and shoot, and of course you will decapitate the Crimson Head like that. But to be honest, it's not 100% consistent, because the Crimson Head won't always grab. Okay, so crows. So crows you can start running until you get... When you are in the middle of them, you have to start walking. But when you are not in the middle of them, you can start running. It's okay. Just walk when you are in the middle of them. On the way out, it's the same. So right here I do not recommend you to reload that shotgun, because that shotgun is not useful it's not useful anymore. Because by saving Richard you will be able to pick up Richard's assault shotgun on the guest house, on the aquarium. But anyway, Lisa's first encounter is the same as Jill. It's less complicated because of this, you will see. You just equip the Magnum, aim and shoot. And then you unequip the Magnum and start running straight until you get close to this wall and then get out. You have to get close to that wall in case Lisa tries to attack. But with Chris it's like literally impossible for that to happen. Because maybe you saw it, but Chris has a lot of less recoil with the Magnum than with Jill. Jill like take more time between one Magnum bullet and another. Chris shoot faster the Magnum. And Chris run faster, so that's why that strat with Chris is like less complicated to perform. And it's more safe. It's possible to perform that strat with the shotgun, but it will take you between 2 and 3 shotgun shells. And you have to pump cancel. It's mandatory to pump cancel if you want to perform it with the shotgun. I just recommend you to use the Magnum. It's not necessary for not using it, you know. For this part, the cutscene ends and you equip the Magnum, aim and shoot, and then go backwards until the wall doesn't let you go backward anymore, and then keep aiming. When the dogs appear in the camera, you shoot. There are 3 dogs on this room. On a very rare occasion, you will kill 2 dogs with just 1 Magnum bullet. But it doesn't happen a lot of times. But it can happen sometime, you know. So for the guest house, the only weapon you need is the handgun. You don't need anything else. So just save everything else and just pick up the handgun. And you can pick up this hand grenade if you want. Or not only if you want. If you are out of defense items, it's mandatory to pick up that hand grenade. So for the spider section, as long as you enter the room and you get out of the room as fast as you can, the spider shouldn't be able to attack you. I just like to go around the spider because I'm afraid of the spiders. But it's possible to just go directly to the door. I do that on Invisible Enemy, so it's 100% consistent. You need to have like crazy bad luck for the spider to attack you when you are going around the corner and just go directly to the door. But because it's not Invisible Enemy and I can see the spider, I just like to take a wide curve and avoid the spider like that, just in case. So on this bathroom, after you pick up the key, one zombie will enter. There are plenty of things you have to take care about this part. But because you were using this strat, with this strat, this is the only thing you have taken into account. You just use the defense item and get out. The reason you need to lure the zombie inside the bathroom is because like that the zombie will never leave the bathroom. So you will have like free pass on that room, and that room you will like go through that room 2 more times. But maybe if you are like making a hitless run on this game, so you are not using, or you are not allowing yourself to use defense items. The best thing, there are two things you can do with that zombie. You can strafe him, and by strafe him I mean you have to lure the grab and then get out. Or you can just use a shotgun shell and shoot him on the leg. But if you use the shotgun shell strat, you have to take into account that when the zombie is entering into the bathroom, he has iframes. So you have to wait a little. But maybe I'm just confusing you with those strats. I just wanted to let you know. But anyway, I think this is a good time to talk about the difference between 60 FPS and 120 FPS in this game. And also because there's one little trick with these libraries on 120 FPS, but I won't explain about that because you have to watch it. But anyway, so the main difference between 60 and 120 is that at 120 the AI it's more consistent. And by more consistent I mean that the zombies and every enemy will behave like all the time like the same. So their behavior will be more consistent. At 60 FPS it's like more random how they behave. At 120 FPS you can perform the stair skating way faster. You can perform the quick shot easier, maybe you can say. You can perform the pump cancel. It's less complicated to perform the pump cancel as well at 120 FPS. And the game time it's like more precise at 120 FPS, so that's the main reason speedrunners play this game at 120 FPS than 60 FPS. So I recommend you to play 120 FPS. You have the chance or you have the rig on your computer to play this game at 120 FPS. I really recommend you to do that. I wasn't able to play at 120 FPS because my computer doesn't allow me. But if you are able to do it, it's 100% recommended to play this game at 120 FPS. It's the best way to play it, to be honest. With Chris's part it's a little different. You equip the self-defense gun, aim and shoot, then you equip the handgun and aim and shoot 6 times. Or maybe more, depends if the second shark doesn't die. But when the shark does that like shaking on the water, it means it's dead. Because you have auto aim, Chris will always aim to the enemies, so you don't have to be worried about the aiming, you know. This is not real survivor or invisible enemy. And the main reason I reset the room is because if you don't reset the room, it's possible that Neptune will eat you. I'm pretty sure Neptune works like by timing. So the more time you stay on that room, Neptune will come and try to eat you. But when you reset the room, you reset everything, as I told you at the beginning of the game, so that's why Neptune is not able to like try to eat me.
Reaching 30% of pressure threshold.
But yeah, that's it. So for this puzzle, it's random. It can be number 1, number 2, or number 3. I get lucky and it was number 1. The exact number is on the papers that are on the left or at the left of the ladder. If you want to know the exact number, but it's always random. It will be. It's not like always the same number. So yeah, unfortunately Richard dies anyway, on Jill's scenario and Chris scenario. Doesn't matter if you help him with the serum, he will die anyway. Alright, here is the assault shotgun. So with Chris it's possible to let die Richard on the mansion. And there are 2 things that change when you do that. So if you left Richard die on the mansion, so you don't give him the serum, You won't be able to pick up the assault shotgun on this part of the game, and Rebecca will help you with the B-Jolt. To be honest, I don't recommend you to do that. The B-Jolt of course will make one phase of the fight with the Plant 42, but you will have to fight the Plant 42 anyway, so... And not having the assault shotgun with Chris, it's like... not recommendable at all, to be honest. Because assault shotgun, it's the best weapon you can have with Chris. Besides the Magnum. So yeah, do not try to let Richard die. Just save him on the mansion. It's the best thing you can do. It's not like the vigil will compensate how useful is the assault shotgun, you know? So right now, before we enter to the gallery room, we will go to the item box and make some item management. What you want to do is pick up the Magnum and all the Magnum bullets you have. And have one item slot free, because you need one item slot free for the insecticide. And of course for the last key, right? So like on Jill's scenario, you have to go pick up the insecticide and then get out of the room. Do not fuck around, or the wasp will sting you. And right here is the same. When you pick up the map, do not examine it. So you choose yes, and then press the menu button, so you'll get out as fast as you can, and then you use the insecticide. Because when you are examining the map, Chris will start reading a document, and the wasp will get out of that little hole, and they will sting you. And of course that counts as damage. So the Plant 42 fight, it's about sounds, to be honest. You will perform some dodges, but it's more about sounds, because you have to learn the sound when the Plant 42 open its body. Maybe you can say it, because the Plant 42 has a core, and you have to learn the sound that Plant 42 makes when it opens or when it closes. And also you have to learn the sound that Plant 42 makes before it tries to attack you with his tentacle. So when the fight starts, you go directly to these stairs, you skate up, you stand up on this part and aim and shoot 3 times. Right there I fucked up because I shoot the first Magnum bullet very soon. And I just waste 6 Magnum bullets. This is the worst fight to make with the Plant 42, to be honest. The Plant 42 will always attack with his tentacle after he throws acid, so that's why I dodge it like that. And then I hear that the Plant 42 open his core again, and then I aim and shoot. Do not rush it like I did it, because you won't deal the Plant 42 damage when its core is closed. Doesn't matter if you are with the Magnum. So those are the 2 main sounds you have to learn: when the Plant 42 opens its core and when it closes. And the sound when the Plant 42 makes before trying to tag you with the tentacle. In order to avoid the tentacle auto tag, you just have to go far left and then go back to the same spot that you were aiming at the beginning. the fight. A perfect Plant 42 fight, it's killing the Plant 42 with just 5 Magnum bullets. I fucked it up and I used 6 and I didn't even kill it. But this was because I didn't have enough experience with Chris runs and I was nervous on that fight, to be honest. It's possible to kill the Plant 42 with the handgun, even with the knife. With the handgun is the same strat I use, but you have to like dodge like 5 times the tentacle auto attack, and you have to wait like when the Plant 42 opens its core like 5 times as well, or maybe more. So right here the second dog is not dead, and that it's a very rare case. That a dog doesn't die with a Magnum bullet. It's really rare, to be honest. But as you can see, it can happen. Right now it comes the worst part of the game. This is worse than the boss's fight. You will lose more rounds on this part than other parts, to be honest. You stand up on this part, you aim and shoot to that snake. Aim the other snakes on the right to come to you, aim down, shoot. Aim the third snake, go around the snake and then get out. You can kill the third snake if you want, but it's not necessary. It's only necessary to kill the first one on the corner, and then the second and third one that comes from the right. And sorry, the fourth one, it's not. It's possible to kill the fourth one, but it's not like mandatory to do it. That strat is 100% consistent as long as you perform it correctly, like I did. It will take you a lot of practice, of course, but it's very consistent and it's very safe. So I really recommend you to do that strat for this part, because it's a pain in the ass, this part, to be honest, man. It's harder than bosses. I lost more runs on this part than bosses, to be honest. So my hunters, the first one, just avoid him, and this one is very important. If the hunter go backwards like he did, you can shoot directly. But if the hunter doesn't go backwards and just stay in your face, that was really important. Try to take some space between you and the hunter, because it's possible that the hunter will instantly attack you. I have the good RNG and the hunter go backwards, and I was able to just start shooting him. And the second hunter is like way easier, because you just have to wait until he lands, and then you have to start shooting. And of course it's like pretty mandatory to learn the pump cancel for those hunters, otherwise it's very possible that they will attack you because of the recoil of the shotgun. And maybe if you wonder, I don't know Chinese, by the way. I just know all the game by memory, so I don't need to read anything. Anyway, on spider section on this part you just have to keep running, and for the third spider just stick close to the left wall. And like that the spiders will never attack you. Sometimes the third spider will like look very scary, and maybe you will like think the third spider will try to attack you, but she will never do it, to be honest. It will just be an animation. Do not get scared. As long as you go or you stick close to the left, you should be okay. So these zombies on the first and second one I kill on the other room, you can just avoid them or even use defense items if you want. I like to kill them because I have plenty of ammo. For this part, you run and then enter to the camera change walking. It's important for you to enter to the camera change walking, otherwise the zombie will instantly grab you. There's a speedrun strat that consists in just running around the wall of the elevator, and you can avoid the zombie like that as well. But the strat I just use it's like simpler to do, and it's consistent as well. The speedrun strat is also consistent, but you need a really good control of the alternate controls. By alternate controls I mean the left stick, and that's a thing I forget to mention. So the left stick works with the camera, so it can troll you very easily because of that. So that's why it's really important for you to learn when to use the left stick and when to use the D-pad. And by that you will be like able to not troll yourself when there's a lot of camera changes on certain sections of this game. So because this is the ending 6, or the worst ending, you only need to pick up the red gem. You don't have to pick up the yellow gem, it's not necessary. And as long as you don't pick up the yellow gem, there won't be hunters on the hallway on the first floor. The hunters will only spawn when you pick up the yellow gem. So on every ending you don't need to save Jill, there won't be hunters. So right now I'm pretty sure the Crimson Head is alive. Yeah, as you can see it's a Crimson Head, and as long as you keep running and go from door to door, you should be okay. You can kill that Crimson Head if you want. I don't really recommend it, but I really recommend to incinerate the zombie before he becomes a Crimson Head, so at the beginning of the game, right? So enter the Yawn fight with the shotgun equipped. So this is a cutscene. As long as you regain control of Chris, aim and shoot 3 times. 1, 2, and 3, and then go to this corner and aim and shoot 2 times, and then go directly to the ladder. You go down the ladder and then you run until the camera change. Camera change, stop, aim and shoot 3 times. And Yawn is dead like that. Yawn will always die with 8 shotgun shells if you perform this strat correctly. Because you have auto aim, it's impossible for you to miss shots. I think the hardest part for this strat is like the beginning, so after the first 3 shotgun shells, because if you don't do it fast enough, it's possible that Yawn will bite you immediately, and if you don't take the space I told you. And as you can see, Chris raised the shotgun on his shoulder, on his chest. So that's why it's not possible to perform a pump cancel on this fight. Right now remember that the Crimson Head is still on the hallway. So you have to go directly to the door. Do not waste time and do not fuck up the input. That was really fucking close and it looks scary. One time I fucked up the input on that door and I didn't open it fast enough and the Crimson Head just slashed me. So that's why I start deciding if I'm not able to decapitate that zombie, I will just incinerate the body. By opening the door, you discard the mansion key and you have 1 item slot free, and that item slot free will be for this jewelry box. It's everything calculated. On Real Survivor, in the management with Chris, it's a pain in the ass, and even more on best ending, to be honest. It's like on Real Survivor, that it's not a really big issue, the management. But with Chris, it's a big issue. It's a headache. Right here, remember that the hunter is still alive on the other room. We won't kill this hunter. We will avoid him all the time. Just run straight and then stick close to the left and go directly to the other room. The hunters will always scream like idiots before attacking, and that's enough time for you to avoid them or dodge them. Oh yeah, and for this section, because the fourth snake is still alive, the only thing you have to do is when you are going up the ladder, just move your left stick to the left down. And by doing that, Chris will immediately stick close to the wall as soon as he ends going up the ladder. And that snake will never bite you. On that section, the snake doesn't respawn, so the snakes that you kill will never respawn again. So, for example, if you kill all the snakes, there won't be snakes on the section. Alright, so the mine section. The mine section, it's like... you have to dodge everything, to be honest. The only thing you will kill is the black tiger. Nothing else. You will dodge everything else. So you will dodge all the hunters on this section. Like in a range mode, the crank is on Enrico's body. And when you pick up this crank, one hunter spawn. You just have to go around him. The hunter will always scream like an idiot. That's enough time for you to dodge him. And now two hunters spawn on this room. The only thing you have to do is stick close to the left wall and then make that curve as fast as you can. That's the worst strategy you can get, that the second hunter try to attack you, because most of the time he will just jump. But on all the cases that dodge or performing the dodge will work. To be honest, I never got hit on that part, not even on invisible enemy. So it's 100% consistent, that dodge. So for the black tiger you need 4 magnum bullets. On hard difficulty, because the auto aim, it's pretty impossible for you to miss a shot, so... you should be okay with just 4, but just in case I completely reload the magnum, you know. So there are some differences with Chris on this section. The first one is that you need to pick up the flamethrower. It's really important to pick it up right now. And the second thing is that one hunter will spawn on that place after you get close to this door. So keep the magnum, enter to the fight with the magnum equipped. And there are several RNGs you can have on this fight. You can lure the jump of the black tiger by just moving the left stick to the right and a little a little down. this is the best RNG because the Black Tiger jump, and you have like 4 magnum bullets free. The worst RNG is that the Black Tiger will stay in place with the spawns, and maybe you have to go around the Black Tiger and start shooting. But there's another more consistent way to deal with that RNG that I use on Real Survivor. So go check out that video. Nah, I'm joking. The main strat consists that if the Black Tiger doesn't jump, just stay in place. So you have to perform the same movement. And if the Black Tiger doesn't jump, just stay in place and shoot 4 times. Because believe it or not, the Black Tiger will throw acid, but the acid won't hit you, and then the Black Tiger will like try to attack you, but it's like it will just make an animation of throwing its teeth. But they are not teeth, right? It's like I don't know how to call it, man. It's like those little things that the Black Tiger has on its mouth. I know you are joking right now. You are laughing right now. But I know the exact word for that. But I think it's like... It sounds way complicated to understand, maybe. Maybe it will be better if you just saw my Real Survivor runs. Even with Jill, I perform that strat if the Black Tiger doesn't jump. Because the strat of going around the Black Tiger and shooting, it's like way more... Not difficult, but it's way more risky. Because you have to take into account that if you kill the Black Tiger and you are right behind the Black Tiger, the acid that the Black Tiger throws when it's dead inflicts damage. It can even poison you, I think. But yeah, but in order to almost always lure the jump of the Black Tiger, what I do is move my left stick to the left and a little to the... and a little down, like left down. And it works for me a lot of time, to be honest. More with Chris than with Jill. And I think it's because Chris is faster. But I'm not really sure. It's like I'm just making assumptions. But anyway, remember there's one hunter right here. As long as you go directly to the door, the hunter shouldn't be able to hit you. The hunters on this section is still on the same place, and the dodge is the same. Just stick to this wall, then make the curve as perfect as you can, and the hunters will never hit you as well. The worst thing can happen right there is that the second hunter will make a 180-degree slash, or maybe you get stuck with his hitbox and he won't let you pass. But that only will happen if you like don't make the curve, or you don't stick close to that wall. And the combination for that puzzle is always the same. It's always 4, 2, 3, 1. So Lisa's Labyrinth, I like to call it this section like that. What you want to do is go to the left right here, you spawn please on the left, and then continue running. You need to know where to spawn Lisa, otherwise Lisa will be on your way and will attack you. As long as you know where to spawn Lisa, you should be okay. On the way out, it's a little different. You have to go down right here, Lisa spawn on the left, and then you can get out. And I like to call it a labyrinth because you can lose yourself very easily in this section because there's a lot of camera changes. So the second time you have to get in almost the same. You have to take into account just one thing. Sometimes maybe Lisa will just immediately try to go right when you spawn here on the left. When you spawn her on the left, I'm sorry. And if that happens, just lure Lisa a little. Because if Lisa tries to go directly to the right when you spawn her, it's possible that she will be right before the flame tower. Of course, right here, do not forget to pick up the jewelry box, otherwise you will have to backtrack. And the zombie on the forest is still in the same place. As long as you go around the trees, the zombie will never grab you or do anything to you. Nice, man, I got the worst energy. So that energy is pretty scary, as you can see. And it can troll you very easily, because you can think that the zombie will grab you. And maybe you just will go directly to him and make him, or try to make him to grab you. And just use a defense item, but it's like, the game is just trolling you, man. Because the zombie will always vomit. If you have that RNG right. So right here, pick up this emblem. And right now the hunter in this part is like around the corner, like on the right. So that's why you have to enter to the art room and then re-enter to this room, and the hunter will be on in front of you. And you can go directly to the Spencer's office. So it's not necessary to save Rebecca because this is the worst ending. So just use the lamp, pick up the shotgun shells, and then pick up the other emblem, and then go directly to the art room. And with this pattern, you can just go directly to the main hall, and you don't have to worry about anything. Alright, so on Lisa's fight, the best weapon you can have is the Magnum, as always. Because with the Magnum you will always stun Lisa with just one bullet. With the shotgun it's possible to stun Lisa, but it will take you between 2, 3 or even 4 shotgun shells to stun Lisa with just the shotgun. But with Chris most of the time you won't have enough ammo. Because right now, as you can see, I just have 2 Magnum bullets. So the best thing you can do with Lisa is learn how it works. You can just avoid her the whole fight, and maybe you will be lucky enough and you will have the best RNG or the God RNG, and Lisa will just go directly to Wesker, and that will give you enough time to just push all the stuns. So the fight starts, just go directly to the left stun. The first stun is free. After you push the first one, if Lisa jumps, just go directly to the right stun, because Lisa is with Wesker right now. And this is the best RNG because Lisa is with Wesker, so you can push all the stuns. And you don't have to worry about taking care of Wesker, because if Lisa throws Wesker from the platform, that won't change the ending. Wesker will appear on the laboratory anyways. It's not like on Jill you have to take care of Barry, because if Lisa throws Barry, that will count as a bad ending. With Chris it's not like that. So the best RNG you can have is that Wesker will aggro Lisa and you will have free time to push all the stuns. One important thing you have to take into account for that fight is that when Lisa jumps, you have to take advantage of that. So if Lisa jumps directly to you, you can just run around her, because Lisa has to land before she can try to perform an auto attack. So that's the enough time you have to avoid her or to dodge her. And of course, when Lisa is stunned, you can also do the same. You have plenty of time to avoid her or dodge her. So the canteen we pick up at the beginning of the game is, to this part, very useful. You just fill it up with kerosene and then start killing the zombies. If you are lucky enough, you will decapitate the zombies. I'm not lucky enough. I was lucky enough with the second one and maybe with the third one. I think I wasn't, yeah. So I was just able to kill 2. So just incinerate the 2 bodies that you were not able to decapitate. So there's one important thing on this game, and you will see it right now. If you stand up on the fire of a body incinerating, it doesn't count as damage. It's just an stagger, but it doesn't count as damage. I tested with the SRT2. So don't think I fucked up and I just upload the video with damage. No, it doesn't count as damage. So maybe you will be lucky enough and you will decapitate the zombie. I wasn't, so that's why I fill up the kerosene just in case, and I can incinerate this body as well. The main reason I'm incinerating the bodies on this section is because after the Tyrant fight, it's possible they will become Crimson Heads. It's not impossible to dodge them, of course, but it's risky, so for not that much run, the best thing to do is to avoid Crimson Heads at all in the whole game. So the login is Yawn, the password is Ada, and the second password is Cell. And it doesn't matter what or which ending you are making, you have to open B2F and B3F. Because we don't need the ammo disc, we don't need to make more space on our inventory, so we can just go directly to the room upstairs and pick up the laboratory directly, and then continue on the game. The combination on this keypad is 8462. It's always the same. I like how in this game they make it like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And there are some puzzles that are random and there are some others that are always the same. Of course, on Resident Evil 3 Nemesis it's like way crazy how the puzzles change. I think that more than the half of the puzzles are RNG. But that makes it entertaining, right? Because it's not always the same, so it keeps a fresh air on every run. But anyway, I entered to this room just because I want the shotgun shells. So just pick up the shotgun shells and then get out. And by using the key on these two doors, you can discard that key. I like to kill the zombie in this part because I have to come to this room like 2 more times. And one time I will be with the nitroglycerin and I cannot take that risk. So for this part, just run to this corner, aim and shoot. So it's not a corner, I'm sorry. Run to the corner of that arrow, white arrow on the floor, and then aim and shoot. Because you have auto aim, Chris will always aim to the Chimera, and the Chimera will always die with just one shotgun shell. There's I think a 0.01% that the Chimera won't die with just one shotgun shell. But it's completely rare, man. It happened to me just one time on the more than 100 attempts I make on this run. But maybe you will have the bad luck and that will happen. But that strat is very consistent, to be honest. It's more consistent than the strat I use with Jill, that I told you that you have to enter walking to that room. Because by entering running it's like more consistent to kill the Chimera and more consistent to not have a bad RNG with the Chimera. So when you are with the nitroglycerin, there are some things that will increase the percentage that it will make the nitroglycerin explode. Running is the one that will increase it more, so that's why you have to run. But shooting and getting grabbed by an enemy, it will increase the percentage as well. So that's why we just kill all the enemies on the way to the Chimera section, so we don't have to worry about anything. And I like how Chris walks like very calm, and Jill walks like she's very scared, but Chris doesn't give a fuck. Pretty funny. So right here we will hear a Chimera on the left, but do not get scared, it's only the sound. The Chimera will never come to you. And once you put the nitroglycerin, you can start running. So Chimera's part, it's basically just running, to be honest. So you just enter running, you make a curve, and then you go directly to the room. I'm sorry, to the door. Right here you go first to the left. You go to the computer, activate the computer, and you get out on the right. This Chimera most of the time will like go to you to the door. The Chimera is very kind. And as you can see, it's only running. On the best endings, you have to take care to dodge one Chimera because there's one MODs that you have to activate on that section. But it's not really hard anyways. It's way harder on the classic, to be honest. But anyway, right here, to be honest, you just need, to be exact, you need 7 shotgun shells to kill the Tyrant on the laboratory. I'm just taking everything because I didn't know that when I was making this run. But the Tyrant will only take you 7 shotgun shells.
Wesker. So you've come. Chris, you make me proud. But of course you are one of my men.
Thanks. Since when, Wesker?
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
Since when have they been slipping you a paycheck?
I think you're a bit confused. I've always been with Umbrella. And stars were Umbrella's... no, rather, my little piggies. The Tyrant virus leaked, polluting this whole place, and unfortunately, I had to give up my lovely members of Stars.
You killed Enrico with your own dirty hands! You son of a bitch!
Enrico? Yes. I'm a fair man. I'll destroy all of you Stars along with this entire place.
You...
Time for show and tell. Get up. The ultimate life form. Tyrant.
Wesker, you've become senile.
Chris, you'll never understand. It's magnificent.
Come on, you test tube freak.
Alright, so the Tyrant fight starts. You quick turn and then you just go through this place. Wait until the Tyrant appears. When the Tyrant appears, you stick close to the wall. Equip the shotgun and aim and shoot 4 times. I recommend you to just shoot 3. 4 times is being greedy. You take space and then continue shooting just 1 time or 2. And then you go back through the same place. But it's important that you go back by walking, because if you do it like really fast, the Tyrant, it's possible that will like quick turn and then appear from the other way, you know. And then the Tyrant's dead, as you can see. It's not really complicated to do it, because this Tyrant cannot run. The Tyrant will always walk. So as long as you take space between you and the Tyrant, you should be okay. But yeah, I think that's it, because there are no more enemies to take care or to care about or be careful about. Because it's the worst ending, we don't have to fight the Tyrant on the heliport. So yeah, I will just say goodbye right now. So this was Resident Evil Remake HD Remaster, without saving and without taking any damage. On hard difficulty with Chris Redfield, getting the worst ending, or better known as the ending 6, at 60 FPS on the PC version of the game. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked, hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, you can make it on the comments, or you can find me at Twitch TV or twitch.tv/Saurio, or you can find me on Discord as well on Team Hitless. I'll be happy to help you if you have any questions about this run or maybe any other runs I make. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. I'm Ares, and I see you next time.
Chris, you did a fine job.